Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Krisan and today we're going to be doing a video. If you're new to my channel, hi! I do a lot of these videos, reaction videos, beat videos, art videos, so much different videos, and you can check it out by subscribing down below or clicking the cards up there to check out some more of my stuff. So today is the day that I'm going to be talking about my life as an idol trainee. Yeah, I got comments about this before and I really held back on talking about it, but I wanted to preserve my memories because, you know, I'm very forgetful as a person, so I really wanted to put out some of my memories as a trainee here. Maybe people will find it interesting or, you know, helpful if they want to become a trainee, and two, because I was allowed to. So long story short, I was an idol trainee and I left. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about my audition story, you can check out the video up there. If you want to also learn more about how to become an idol trainee or what idol trainees are, you can check out my other video up there. I've always wanted to try out for Korean entertainment companies, and I did pass applications to Korean entertainment companies before. Sadly, it didn't work out until one company, the company I had joined, had open auditions and I got in. As a disclaimer, guys, this is my personal experience as an idol trainee, so it may differ a little bit from the stories that you hear from other idol trainees who were in different companies. So no two trainee stories are the same. So yeah. First question is, how did you become an idol trainee? So please refer to the video up there. To make it very compressed, I auditioned for the company online when I saw the ad online. A different friend told me to go to this rehearsal, this audition, and I did, and they made me audition on the spot and I did, and then from then on I got in, not the company yet, but I got in the training pool, and from after that I got into the company. How long were you a trainee? So I did training 1 year at ShowBT Entertainment, and this is the local branch of the Korean branch called S-How Entertainment. So you may know S-How because they were the ones that handled the group Off-Road before, but you would also know two of the trainees there. They were on Produce 101 Season 2. So that is Namhyang and Dongsu. Apart from that, while being a trainee, I was also part of their musical group called Nara. So we would do musical excerpts for events and stuff like that. My prior experience to being a trainee with a very similar layout form was when I was much kind It was for a theater company. I was a trainee there for I think around a year as well. And it's roughly the same thing, the same kind of, like, there's a schedule, there's evaluations, there's all that. So yeah. What was the hardest part? Wow. Okay, where do I start? Plain and simple was apart from the daily schedule routine of a trainee. It would also be that I also had to work part-time. It was like a cycle. So I went to training, then I had my part-time job, then I went home to sleep. That just kept going and going and going. Another one was the pressure to do well, because we were always being evaluated and we were always being tested. It was a little difficult, especially at the start, because I was the newest one in the group, and these trainees, this training pool, they all already knew each other. They've all performed together already, and I was the newest one along with my friend. I had so much pressure on myself because I had to do just as good as they have been doing, if not better, because I didn't want to, you know, be the dead weight. Also because the trainers were watching us. So yeah. The diet, losing weight, because I had gained so much weight during my studies prior to going to training. So I had a lot of weight to lose that time. If I were to be very objective, it would be the evaluations were pretty hard because like I said, we were always tested. So we have to do better than the last evaluations, or we have to show them some kind of growth. In our evaluations, the Korean CEO would fly in from Korea and evaluate us and see what the update is. So of course, when you're there at the evaluations, you don't want to look like you didn't practice since the last time he visited. Not just on me, I think on everyone felt that. What did you do as a trainee? So I have a video explaining the full schedule and details and stuff like that. But we trained 5 or 6 times a week. We also had other things going on, like when our sunbes or our seniors from the Korean branch would come, they would do fan meetings or they would have events. We would be their backup dancers, or like in my case, I would host. I would be their MC for their fan meetings. So that was Namhyung and Dongsu. After, they were called AA at the time, but that was after their stint of Produce 101. How many were you? Okay. When it comes to the training pool, like the training pool before I joined, I think they were around 22. I think all in all, plus me, we were 22, 23. We ended up being around 13 members officially that trained every day with the company. And from there, a couple of people fell out, and boys and girls together, we trained together. We were 4 girls and the rest were all boys. So that was how our training went. So we were pretty much like siblings because we knew each other before entering the company. We also went through a lot of stuff in the company together. So the question is, do I still see some of the trainees that I trained with? Yes, I did. I did see the girls. I did see the girls and some of the other trainees when I visited their event. Actually, I was just going through the mall that time because I had another schedule, but it just so happened they were there and I saw them, so I stopped by to say hi to all of them and took pictures of them. And you know, we were supposed to meet up after, but everyone got busy, so like I would go to the studio because I had to pick up something or something like that. When I visited, they just so happened to be there, so I said hi to them. But I would also see them in events sometimes. But the other trainees, we do still chat, we do still talk, but we have yet to have a full reunion because right now it's COVID. So any funny stories? So funny stories, there's just so many. There's like quite a lot, and I think that most of them I probably forgot them already because, you know, like when you're going through the motions of a trainee, you kind of forget very detailed stuff because you're just there training all the time, and sometimes the days kind of are so similar, they just mesh together, and other times you're just too stressed to even remember what happened. Koreans are very specific about time, especially for trainees. So we had to go to the company at a certain time and we can't be late. We definitely can't be late because if we're late, they are going to punish us. Not, you know, hitting us, no. Like they would punish us by we had to do an extra 1,000 jumping rope, you know, jump rope. So we had to do an extra 1,000 of that because every day we had to do 1,000 anyway, but we had to do like an extra 1,000, was it 1,000 or 5,000? One of those two. But we had to do that if we're 1 second late, literally. So what would happen during the time, like our training schedule was at like 1 p.m. I'm lucky sometimes I get like my dad to drive me, or I'm riding a motorcycle, like, you know, a motorcycle taxi. Then I would see some of the other trainees. It happened to me once too, like from the MRT, from the train, you can see them running all the way to the studio. Our training starts at 1 p.m. So can you imagine that? We're like, you can see them running, then I'm on the motorcycle, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not late, And then once we get there, because there's a security guard, right? And when he sees us, he knows that we're late, and he knows, he's like, okay, go inside. So we would literally sprint. We're literally sprinting to the door because we cannot be late, because the moment we go in, like we open the door and the first thing you have to say is 안녕하세요. Like that's literally the first thing you have to say once you open the door. 안녕하세요. All the staff will check the clock. Like they'll check the clock and say, okay, you're early. Okay, then we have to log in for the day that we arrived at this time. But literally, if you're like 1 second late, like I remember there was one time like I arrived right on the dot, and then the person after me arrived late after greeting. She was punished. Like she was punished because she was like 1 minute late, and then there's no amount of excuses to say, no, but I was just 1 second. They're like, no, you're late. We have a trainee manager, so she keeps tabs on everyone. And yeah, that it's always funny because like sometimes like I'm really early that day and I would be like waiting there at like the lobby area, then you can see trainees like running inside and they're like, oh my god, am I late? Or like all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm on time. Like it's really funny when you see everyone coming in. Oh yeah, there is another one which is called, I would call the planks of death. So if you know planking, right? So part of our training was to do planking, and we hated planking. I mean, of course it's really great for your body, you know, like workout, but they would make us do it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. 30 seconds is hard already for some people. 1 minute is even harder. 1 minute and 30 seconds. We were just there and we had to do it all together, and the trainee manager is just there watching us. And she would take tabs. If someone doesn't do it correctly, we'll probably do it again. Because you can hear everyone just being like, pain, that's all you can hear. You can be like, ah, it's so hard, you know? Yeah, we had no choice. That was part of our routine. The chocolate incident. So there's a lot of different incidents. I can probably talk about it later on if you guys are interested, but we were on very strict diets, especially the girls were on very strict diets. So we couldn't eat certain things. We couldn't eat after a certain time, and we had a certain set meal plan. The first few days we started our diet because we were so hungry, like literally so hungry. I think it was me. I sneaked in some chocolate that day in my backpack. I was in the storage closet and I usually go there to practice my vocals, but that time like I was just so hungry. Like I literally bit off a piece. And then someone else came in. I think it was one of the boy trainees. He came in and he saw the chocolate and I was like, shh, keep quiet, don't tell them. And he said, can I have a piece? So I broke off a piece and gave him one, and then the other girls started coming in, and then the girls I would split it with the girls, like they would get a piece of chocolate and the other guys get a piece of chocolate. Yeah, that was really hard in the first few days of diet, but after that we kind of got used to it. Before I started being a trainee, I didn't believe those stories like you would get hungry enough just to sneak in food, you know, you get hungry enough just to hide your food. Yeah, you get hungry enough to do that. There are incidents like that, like you really get so hungry and they really check like what food you're bringing and all that. So what happens in training apart from training? So apart from the general seriousness of training, we do have fun during training. Like there was a certain point, like because sometimes we're together like 8 to 10 hours a day, you know, we see each other all the time, and like we would get into games. So there was one game we really got into called, was it Nightwing or what was it? Nightwing or? But it was a game like you had to like on Facebook, like that wing game, like you were like a fairy or something. I'll put it up here. But we played that game and we would try to outdo each other all the time, even while we're eating on break time and all. We would try to outdo each other. And there was one game that, apart from that game, because I wasn't really good at that game, I would play word games like this. The word games were like, they're like a jumble of letters and you have to create words and complete the puzzle. So I started playing that game and I would ask the other trainees, I'm like, guys, what word can you form with this? Or they would see it and I'd be like, guys, what word? And we would like, oh yeah, that word, or that one. And next thing I knew, everyone in the all the trainees started playing the game. So we would just help each other out and play stuff like that, like when we're a little bored sometimes. We did have something called open talk. All the trainees would openly talk to each other about problems or to clear misunderstandings with each other, because we had to work as a unit, we had to work as a group. And it was hard if like people had misunderstandings with each other. So that was one way to also give a pep talk after, you know, we get scolded or after evaluations or something. And it definitely made us stronger as a group, and you know, the bond as well. Sometimes it would be awkward after, but then after that you're like, well, you know, we have to do this, we're kind of stuck with each other. So I would sum up the training is pretty much like going to school. You're going to school to improve your skills and, you know, come out as someone, like graduate from the training as part of a girl group or a boy group or an actress or what have you, talent under the company. That is it for my video. I really wanted to include more stuff, but maybe if you guys are interested for a part 2, and if you're curious about some other stuff, please comment it down below. I'll try to answer your questions and I'll probably make a video about it. Oh, I forgot to say that we weren't really allowed to use our phones. That's why we don't have a lot of pictures. Like, I didn't have so many pictures. I just asked my other trainee friends for pictures because I didn't take a lot, but the others did manage to take some. And I hope that you learned something new about me today or knew about the trainee life. Please like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content, and click the bell for notification for updates when I have a new video. And that is it. I will see you guys again next time.